Hi, Darren Laverty again here today, talking to you about the biggest mistakes made by financial educators, and this is number 3 in my opinion. And the biggest mistake here is employee segmentation. So what a lot of employers do, they try their best. They're well-intended, they're well-meaning, but they want to try and make sure that the right employees are signposted towards the right type of financial topics to be educated on. And the way they tend to do that, they segment them by looking at the payroll, looking at the data, looking at the demographics, looking at their ages, their sex, their job role, their intellect, all those sorts of things, and making assumptions on what's going to be important for those people to learn about. But as you can imagine, they never quite get that right. And when they don't get it right, what happens is, if there's a few people in a session where the information is not relevant, they're going to get fed up quite quickly. It's a dry enough subject as it is, so if it's not relevant, it's not interesting. If it is relevant, you can go into a lot more detail, so we need to make sure we don't have anybody in those sessions where it's not relevant for them. So how do we do that? How do we get the right people into the right sessions and keep it relevant? Well, the way we do that is we let them self-select the topics which are important to them. We let them make their own choices. But people don't know what they need to know, and so we have to help them. So in the run-up to this selection, we need to make them aware. We need to tell them a bit about some of the subjects, maybe at a high level, maybe fairly quickly, so they can then pick which ones are important to them. It's really important to get segmentation perfection, and the only way to do that is to get the employees to make their own choices. Now, I'll give you an example. We've been running one particular topic is estate planning, and it's a big topic right now because young people are coming out from university with student debt, getting the property ladder is difficult, a lot of wealth tied up in properties in families, and so planning an estate is quite an important thing. And I went along and I attended one of the first sessions. And I was imagining there was going to be a lot of older people in the session who had some kind of estate that they needed to plan. But actually, half the audience were actually very young people. They were people in their 20s. And so after the session, I said to them, "Can I ask you a question? Why are you here? I mean, I'm not being funny, and I may be wrong in assuming this, but I would assume you haven't created much of an estate for yourself yet, so why are you here?" And they turned around and said, "Because we have parents that do have an estate." And it's really important to them that their parents don't throw that money away. Maybe it could disappear outside the family tree, or more than needs to gets paid in tax. And the youngsters want to make sure their parents organise their affairs to pass as much back as they can, as much as is possible. And the key thing here is that they don't know how to do that respectfully with their parents. And so by coming along to a session where they learn about this particular subject, they have a language. They can then bring this subject up with mum and dad and talk about it without it looking like they're just out for what they can get. So that's just one example of how this really works, getting the right people to the right topics because we keep it relevant. So the moral to this story is never assume that you know what employees want to learn about. If you want segmentation, perfection, make sure you let them self-select their own topics. Thanks.